In 1970, a Massachusetts state police sergeant was driving through the Triangle when he encountered something that officially doesn't exist. His report was classified for 30 years. Now we know why. What I'm about to show you isn't theory. It isn't folklore. It's documented evidence from government files that took 3 decades to see the light of day. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why they tried so hard to bury it. Welcome back to the Dark Resistory, where the most terrifying stories are the ones that actually happened. I'm your host, and today we're entering a 200-square-mile area where reality breaks down so completely that even skeptics and law enforcement can't explain what they've witnessed. Stick around, because at the 8-minute mark, I'll reveal the exact contents of that classified police report, and it's worse than you think. Picture this. It's 2 a.m. You're driving through southeastern Massachusetts. The road cuts through ancient swampland that Native Americans called Wampanoag, literally meaning the place where spirits dwell. But they weren't being poetic. They were issuing a warning. Your headlights suddenly illuminate something standing 7 feet tall in the middle of the road. Bone-white skin, solid black eyes staring directly at you from just 5 feet away. Your heart literally stops, not figuratively, literally, for 3 full beats. That's not fiction. That's officer testimony from 1975. Or maybe you're a trained police sergeant. You've seen everything the job can throw at you. But now you're witnessing a pterodactyl-like creature with a 12-foot wingspan soaring over the swamp. You know, filing this report could end your career. You file it anyway. Here's what makes this different from every other paranormal story you've heard. We're not talking about campfire tales. We're talking about Massachusetts State Police reports. Norton Police Department documentation. CBS Boston didn't cover this as entertainment. They covered it as legitimate news. Because in the Bridgewater Triangle, the impossible happened so regularly that ignoring it became impossible. Let me show you exactly what the government doesn't want you to know. First, the numbers. In 200 square miles, we have over 300 documented encounters spanning 50 years. UFO sightings with radar confirmation. Bigfoot encounters witnessed by multiple law enforcement officials. Reality distortion events where people end up miles from where they should be, with no memory of how they got there. But here's the smoking gun most people miss. This isn't random paranormal activity. The Bridgewater Triangle sits directly on the site of King Philip's War from 1675-76. Listen to this statistic. It was the bloodiest conflict in American history per capita. 75 to 80% of the native population was wiped out. 25% of the colonists died. During this massacre, the Wampanoag people lost their sacred wampum belt, a revered spiritual object that legend says maintained the area's supernatural balance. They cursed the land because of the violence inflicted upon them. And that curse, it's still active. Let me walk you through the most compelling documented cases. Case 1. The East Bridgewater Encounter, 1975. A driver encounters an 8-foot-tall creature with a bone-white face on Plain Street. But here's what makes this credible. The witness was just 5 to 10 feet away with high beams directly illuminating the creature's face. This wasn't peripheral vision. This wasn't a fleeting glimpse. The witness later said, "I can feel the anxiety just thinking about it. You could see every detail." Case 2. Route 42. Incident, late 1990s. Father and son driving toward Brockton witness a humanoid figure with solid black eyes. No pupils, just endless darkness, attempting to cross the highway. The father braces for collision, expecting impact with this 7-foot-tall entity. Instead, he finds himself eye to eye with something that shouldn't exist. The son witnessed it too, but refuses to discuss it to this day. And that's just the beginning. Case 3. The Norton Police documentation. Police Sergeant Thomas Downey didn't just witness a Thunderbird sighting. He filed an official report. A pterodactyl-like creature with a 12-foot wingspan observed soaring over Wampanoag Swamp. This isn't folklore. This is documented police testimony. CBS Boston covered this as legitimate news because the evidence became too substantial to dismiss. The Bridgewater Public Library maintains an entire collection of documented cases because local officials couldn't ignore the volume of credible witnesses anymore. But none of these cases compare to what that state police sergeant encountered in 1970. And now we know why it stayed classified for 3 decades. The 1970 classified report revealed. Here's what that Massachusetts State Police sergeant encountered that October night in 1970. While conducting a routine patrol through the triangle, his vehicle's electrical systems began malfunctioning, radio dead, headlights flickering. Then, emerging from the tree line, multiple 7-foot-tall figures with luminescent skin began approaching his patrol car in coordinated movement. That's when his dash camera captured something that defied physics. The beings appeared to phase in and out of visible reality, documented on film. When backup arrived, they found the sergeant's patrol car lifted 4 feet off the ground with no explanation for how it got there. The report was immediately classified because acknowledging it would force the government to admit our understanding of reality is fundamentally incomplete. But that's not the most disturbing part. The incident occurred at the exact geographic center of the triangle, the same location where the Wampanoag wampum belt was lost over 300 years ago. The Native Americans tried to warn us. They understood that some locations exist at the intersection of multiple realities, and the government has been quietly monitoring these intersections ever since. The Bridgewater Triangle isn't just America's most active paranormal hotspot. It's proof that our government has been documenting encounters with entities that officially don't exist. From that classified 1970 state police report to dozens of law enforcement witnesses, the Native Americans called it the place where spirits dwell. They were trying to protect us. If you want to explore more classified cases that officials tried to bury, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Every week, the Dark Resistory uncovers America's most documented supernatural mysteries, backed by historical evidence, witness testimony, and official records. What classified case should we investigate next? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've had your own encounter in the Bridgewater Triangle, or witnessed something that officially doesn't exist, share your story. Remember, the most terrifying stories are the ones that actually happened. And if you think the Bridgewater Triangle is disturbing, wait until you see what the FBI has been hiding about paranormal investigations. Their most viewed document isn't about organized crime or terrorism. It's about crashed flying saucers. And J. Edgar Hoover's secret files prove the Bureau has been lying to the American people for over 70 years. Click the video on your screen to see the FBI's secret paranormal files they never wanted you to find.